Okay, let's begin with the speeches for today. We're going to follow the dynamic of one starts and then that person decides who goes next. Okay? So let's begin today
It
with. Uh huh.
I'll go a little for a little time because my mom is calling me. I'll be right back.
Okay. Um, let's start with Oscar.
All right. Here we go. All right. Global warming. Global warming is an issue that is currently going on the world to the burn of fossil fuels used by mankind to create electricity and to move itself across the globe. Or the globe. This emission of fuels is already heating the already heating planet to the point where it causes its weather to go to extremes, which in turn affect us and the ecosystem of Earth. As a species, we should strive to improve and resolve this problem to reverse the changes as much as we can and preserve our home, that the only home that we have at the time, to keep it clean like we do ours. To do this, we need to invest in various forms of energy that doesn't harm the environment as much, nuclear, solar, etc. That's the only way that we can reverse the problem we cause and in the long term for the species survive. I choose next.
Yes.
Um, Ashley.
Global warming. Glaciers are melting, sea levels are rising. Cloud cores are dying, and wildlife is scrambling to keep pace. Global warming is an international phenomenon where the Earth's mean surface temperature is increasing rapidly due to the accumulation of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. The source of these greenhouse gases is various, both natural and man-made, such as forest fire, industrialization, burning of agricultural crops, burning of fossil fuels, etc. Global warming has proved to be a huge force created by men that can have the potential to destroy the natural cycle of our planet. The rapid rise in greenhouse gases is a problem because it's changing the climate faster than some living things can adapt to. Also, a new and more unpredictable climate poses unique challenges to life. With concentration of greenhouse gases rising, Earth's remaining ice sheets such as Greenland and Antarctica are starting to melt too. That extra water could raise sea levels significantly and quickly. This is a big problem for many of the plants, animals, and people on islands. Some of the impacts of global warming that we are already seeing are rising sea levels, which are causing flooding of patches of land, and also changes in rainfall patterns. When the change in rainfall patterns and climate changes occurs abruptly, it becomes difficult for the meteorological departments to predict natural calamities, and this increases the damage caused to life and property. Also, droughts, forest fire floods, and earthquakes are some of the indications for changes in climate patterns caused due to global warming. Melting of glaciers and polar ice caps act as almost extinction of habitat in the North Pole and the South Pole. The polar bears, which are considered to be greatly endangered species, are decreasing in the population by day because of the melting of glaciers. Also, certain diseases like malaria are caused due to global warming since there is migration of species from one place to another. To end my speech, saying that the community, governments, and citizens will have to come forward together to reduce the carbon footprint and to save the planet for our future generations. All of us are responsible for how we take care of our world, and we have to start using biodegradable materials in our houses, reduce plastic waste, and change our lifestyle so we can make an impact to reduce global warming. I will choose fullness.
Well, global warming. First of all, if we want to talk about global warming, we may know that what is global climate change, and what causes it. Climate change is significant long-term changes in the global climate. In the global climate, the connected system of sun, earth, and oceans, wind, rain, snow, forests, deserts, and savannas. Everything people do too. Knowing this, what is global warming? It is a slow increase in the average temperature of Earth's atmosphere because an increased amount of the energy striking the Earth from the sun is being trapped in the atmosphere and not radiated out in space. What are the functions of the Earth's atmosphere? The Earth's atmosphere acts as a protector for us, protecting us from the sun's heat, making sure that the Earth, without this atmosphere, it will be very cold. But global warming means the opposite way around. What causes this? There are three theories: that global warming is not occurring, and so neither is climate change; that global warming and climate change are occurring, but these are natural cyclic events unrelated to human activity; or that global warming is occurring as a result primarily of human activity, and so climate change is also a result of human activity. First theory is really unviable because there are really a lot of proofs that something is going on. The second one comes from the result of human carbon emissions focused on data that shows that world temperatures and atmospheric carbon dioxide levels have been equally high or higher in the past. And the third one, the one of human activities, scientists attribute current atmospheric warming to human activities that have increased the amount of carbon containing gases in the upper atmosphere into increased amounts of tiny particles in the lower atmosphere. So how can we prevent it? There are a lot of organizations working on this because it is a collective action problem. Some things that they have been working is, for example, improvements to energy efficiency and vehicle fuel economy, increases in wind and solar power, biofuels from organic waste, setting a price on carbon, and protecting forests are all important ways to reduce the amount of carbon dioxide and other gases trapping heat into the planet. Eh, que pase, Daniel.
Good morning. I'll talk about global warming. Global warming, as we know, is a term we almost everyone know is familiar with it, but it means still not clear to most of us. So global warming refers to the gradual rise in the overall temperature of atmosphere of the Earth. There are various activities taking place which have been increasing the temperature gradually. Global warming is melting our ice glaciers rapidly. This is extremely harmful to the Earth as well as the human. It is quite challenging to control global warming. However, it is not unmanageable. The first step in solving any problem is identifying the cause of the problem. Therefore, we need to first understand the causes of global warming that will help us proceed further in solving it. In this, I'll talk about this. Causes of the of the global warming. Global warming has become a great problem which needs divided attention. It is not happening because of a single cause, but several causes. These causes are both natural as well as man-made. And the natural causes include the release of greenhouse gases which are not able to escape from Earth, causing the temperature to increase. Further, volcanic eruptions are also responsible for global warming. That is to say, these eruptions release tons of carbon dioxide which contribute to global warming. Similarly, methane it is also one big issue responsible for global warming. After that, excessive use of automobiles and fossil fuels results in increased levels of carbon dioxide. In addition, activities like mining and cattle rearing are very harmful to the environment. One of the most common issues that are taking place rapidly is deforestation. And now I'll talk about some global warming solutions. As stated earlier, it might be challenging, but it's not entirely impossible. Global warming can be stopped when the combined efforts are put on. For that, individuals and government both have to take steps forward achieving it. We must begin with reduction of greenhouse gas. Furthermore, they need to monitor the consumption of gasoline, switch to a hybrid car, and reduce the release of carbon dioxide. Moreover, citizens can choose public transport or carpool together. Sustainably, recycling must also be encouraged. Now, I'll choose Emily.
Um, Good morning. I'm gonna give a speech of global warming. Global warming is definitely the single greatest environmental challenge that the planet Earth is facing at present. It is essential to understand the gravity of the situation. The fuel which you use in order to power your homes, cars, business, and more is heating up the planet faster than expected. We are recording the hottest days and decades ever. What's alarming is that the temperature of the Earth has climbed to the highest point and it has ever been in the past 12,000 years. It only gets worse from here if we don't stop. I'm going to talk about now the impact of the global warming. As the planet is getting hotter, we need to collectively act right now instead of waiting for more. The primary cause of global warming is fossil fuels. Human beings are addicted to burning them, which produces coal, oil, greenhouses, gases, and more. Um, Due to this rise in temperature, the oceans are rising and the coral reefs are dying. Many aquatic species are going extinct while the glaciers are melting. You will be surprised to know that Greenland is losing 20% more mass than it receives from snowfall. Um, Also, the hurricanes are doubling up in nature in terms of occurrence, and the Katrina hurricane is enough to prove this point. Further, the Greenland and Western Antarctic ice sheet are at great risk of melting completely. Um, these two ice sheets present hold around 20% of the Earth's fresh water. The rise in sea levels will damage the coastal areas globally. Moreover, the regularity of hurricanes, tornadoes, and others may become more volatile, spreading malaria and other deadly diseases, as for example, the causes of these hurricanes that have passed in Honduras are the cause of global warming. Now I'm gonna give some ways to stop global warming. The time is now to do something to prevent global warming. Otherwise, it will become worse. Electricity and transportation contribute largely to global warming, so we must begin there. It is important to note that there is no silver bullet, and we must all come together to tackle global warming as a whole. Every home, business, industry, individual effort is required to stop this crisis. As coal produces tons of carbon dioxide annually, we need to find ways to clean up coal. We can also stop global warming by beginning with putting agriculture in the system. We must encourage farmers to adapt to greener farming practices. For instance, they must till land less often and plant trees. And I'll choose Gavi.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about global warming as everyone in this beautiful class. You may know what's global warming. It's quite the same thing that's happening since many years ago, and we didn't care about it. Um, to explain in a short way, global warming it's what we do to the earth, what as humans make with their actions, as the things that we learn. Every action has a reaction in an opposite way. If we make something to harm the earth or that we don't care about it, we will harm someone. And in this case, we harm the earth. Global warming, it's an example of what we're doing. We are using many things and doing many things that are harming the world, the planet in general, and this is affecting us in the same way, like the karma. We are damaging the earth. We are making this global warming even bigger than everything, and we are receiving a little portion of it. What's the little portion? Big droughts, hurricanes, a big, huge of sun and hot. God, I know it's funny, but it's not funny if you started thinking about it. We are in, we receive many things from the earth, and we receive it in a bad way now because we don't level our actions. People don't think about their actions, about the things that they do in the deforestation, using carbon dioxide, using solid contamination, plastic, bags of plastic, the bags of the chips that you eat, that things too are something that harm the earth. If we don't throw it in a good place, we are damaging it. What we can do to avoid this and not to have the hot thing, as I said lately, we can use many things. We can stop using plastic and start using glass. We can start using paper bags. We can start recycling the things like maybe bottles and use them like maceteras, and put them beautiful flowers and decorate your room. That's what I will do since now on to avoid this thing, because we need to stop this, because the global warming isn't a joke. It's something that we need to stop, because if we don't stop this, if we don't stop right now the damage that we are doing, in the future our children will not know what's an iceberg, what are some many animals that are dying because of this global warming, and could not explain them why they don't exist now, why it's hot in here and not as it was years ago, that it wasn't as hot as now. We need to avoid doing the things that we are doing now. We need to start thinking about the planet, and we need to start thinking about the global warming and in many things that can change this. Now, thank you for hearing this beautiful speech, and I choose Alejandrina.
Okay, Alejandrina is going to change the information, I believe. So, is that right, Alejandrina? Okay. Big sales, Gabby.
But you said you were traba. I didn't hear what you said.
Alejandrina is going to change the information. So you choose another one. Dice dame café, vaya, no seas así. Okay, hold on. We are running out of time, and I just want to say something for all of you. And I like for everybody to turn on the cameras. Don't worry, the ones that didn't participate today, you are going to participate Monday. Please, everybody, I beg you, open your cameras. The ones that are off, okay. As you know, this weekend it's a commercial day for celebrating love. Okay, it's just a commercial date. All right, it doesn't have to do with the real meaning of celebrating love. Nonetheless, since you're my babies, and this year we do not have the time to celebrate together like we did last year, and that is something I regret a lot. Um, I like for you to remember that friends are there for everything, in the in the good times and in the bad times. When you're laughing and when you're crying. When you fell down and they laugh at you, but then they help you like put yourself again in the position of the playing. Um, I am really happy for what you have become, a great group. It's really hard to make 29 minds um, agree in something. And last night, I was finding the words to best describe all of you. And I know that you don't like for people to tell you good things or throw the feelings to you. But you know the type of person I am. So um, for me, the best word to describe every one of you is amazing. Even those of you that don't speak that much, you speak with your eyes. For example, when you see Valeria, that she's quiet, her eyes are wiggling around and she's speaking through her eyes. Celeste never stays quiet, so she speaks with the mouth. Efrain is a very quiet person, but he's very friendly. He is one of the greatest gentlemen I've ever known, just as Oscar is. When you see Alex, that he's really quiet, but when he is mad at something, his eyes throw fire to those people. Go over there. Alejandrina, she's never quiet. When she doesn't like something, she spits it, whoever it is. She dared even kicking Mr. George when she was a young girl, and she doesn't regret about it. Funes, even when he speaks in between his teeth, he's saying the truth, and he defends what he believes. And this is the beauty of this group. Everybody in a different way, you are all amazing. Lizzie, even she is a little palito, zapitos. She's one of the bravest person I've met in my life, in my entire life. She's a wonderful big sister. And she is one of the most wonderful girls in the whole Colonia Oro Verde. She deserves everything that's best. Angel, even when he's quiet and he seems that he doesn't understand very much, he gets the point of everything. He gets the like the honey of this group because you are sweet and bitter at the same time. But that's the beauty of this group. Ernesto, he barely speaks, but when he approaches to any people or any person or anybody in the class or outside the class, he does it very classy. Yeah, he's very kind when he speaks. Daniel, the lady killer, he became one of the most searched bachelors in Sheridan. And now I understand why he's very kind and friendly. Manuel, even if he's cachureco, he's a nice guy. Daniela, which the little chicle that we have now, she tries to fit with everybody and she's friendly and she's nice. Emily doesn't keep her mouth shut. When she doesn't like something, she goes for it and she kills it. And when she likes something, she always says it. Cordova, Cordova. He's the most wonderful mess I had to deal with in my life. And the ones that are not here, they have one big, great part of my heart. So, very simple. Happy Valentine's, juniors, class 2020-2021. So, I know it's not like a big deal or like a big gift, but you are my heart. And I feel very proud of every single person in this Zoom meeting. And now you're coming to my heart, and you may bring tears to my eyes, but I love you very much. And I'm really happy to have you as my students. Even Gabriela, which is a snake, she's always bitter. She's never nice, but she's always bitter. But that's the way she is. And she doesn't hide from anybody. She is what she is. Ashley, no te me habías olvidado, Chinita. Ashley was my student in 7th grade, like many of you, but she didn't like me in 7th grade. She was still remembering Miss Michelle, so she was like, ay, no es posible que nos hayan quitado a Miss Michelle, que nos pusieron a esta vieja loca, o sea, güey, no mames. And, but I think we have learned to love each other just the way we are. And that's the most wonderful thing that we can get. It's not what you learn about science, about math, about language, because there's not much I can teach you, but that you're a friendship for life. And that in a few years you will see each other being doctors, engineers, presidents, cachurecos, whatever, vets, pediatricians, and you will still see each other as those little kids that joined a group and that shared a lifetime. Siempre se van a reír de las caídas de todos, de la risa de aquel, de cómo aquel hacía ruidos para comer, cómo Emily dejó de comer cuando tenía los brackets, de cómo cada una y todas de las locuras que hicieron juntos. Siempre se van a acordar de la bipolaridad de algunos que eran frío caliente, otros que, bueno, se van a acordar de todo. Y eso es lo que vamos a atesorar en nuestros corazones. Así que chicos, en estos tiempos donde la gente está sufriendo mucho, donde hay muchas personas que están muriendo, donde vemos muchos que estamos perdiendo familiares, por causa de una enfermedad, es bueno detenerse un momento y darle gracias a Dios porque estamos con vida. Y porque las personas que amamos aún las podemos contar en nuestras mesas al momento de comer y en nuestras pantallas al momento de reunirnos en una clase. Pedirle a Dios que tenga misericordia de nosotros y que nos cuide, que nos siga cubriendo. Y que todas esas personas que están luchando con esta enfermedad puedan sobrevivir y ser testimonio de la bondad de Dios en nuestras vidas. Así que les deseo un feliz día del amor y la amistad, no comercial, pero sí desde lo más profundo de mi corazón. Les amo mucho, los quiero, aprecio, los estimo y me los voy a aplazar en el examen si salieron mal, ¿verdad? Eso sí que no cambia. Hasta que porque los quiero les voy a regalar los puntos, no. Negatorio.
Falló como maestra.
Negativo, así como el cannot, ¿verdad? En el you has to. Bueno. See you on Monday. Y espero que pasen un feliz fin de semana. Los quiero. Bye.